So, hello everyone, I am Monica from IELTS 9. Let's do one more long reading practices. It means before your exam, just practice all types of questions with me. Let's do this reading, that reading. There is no name given for this reading, and this is started with learning theory. So, they may be talking about some theory kind of thing. So, let's start this reading. So first type of question here is, you can see this, which paragraph contains the following information. It means this is not list of heading. Just try to understand. It means first these from question number 1 to 4 they have given a piece of information. So information they have given and we have to find it in paragraphs. So here information is less and more paragraphs are there. So it is not like that list of heading. I am telling you again, because in list of heading you need to give heading to each paragraph. So here if NB is given, NB here means like any two information or two question information, you can find it in one paragraph also. So this can also possible. So let's read it. How to do this, which paragraph contains the following information, that's more important. If you can understand, first we will read all these four questions, only four questions. Okay, then we will read all the paragraphs one by one, and we will try to match the meaning, match the keywords as well as some meaning also. So here in first question they are saying a comparison between rats learning and human learning. So comparison will be there between rats and human learning. So second question is saying a reference to the earliest study. Earliest study, it means historical study. They may be talking in animal learning. So animal learning behavior kind of thing may be there, and earliest study kind of thing, or historical kind of thing, they usually talk in first paragraph. So I'm giving you reading tips and tricks side by side. So try to find this second number question in paragraph number 1. Third, the discovery of who striped the pine cone. So some discovery will be there, not necessary that the same word you can get it, but pine cone will be the same and striped word will be the same. Okay, fourth, a description of a cost effective experiment. Now this is easier to find. Cost effective, some economical experiment or study, maybe there are some less money involved in any experiment, they may be talking, some description will be there. Okay, now I have gone through all four questions of which paragraph contains the following information, we have gone through. Okay, now we will be reading paragraph number A. So this is paragraph number A, and let's read. Learning theory is rooted in the work of Ivan Pavlov, the famous scientist who discovered the now discover word is here. So if pine cone is there and striped word is there, then definitely this will be the answer. But as I told you, so earliest study means historical things, they usually talk in number 1 paragraph. So we will continue. Scientists who discovered and documented the principles governing how animals, humans included, learn in 1900s. Historical dates. The two basic kinds of learning or conditioning occur, one of which is famously known as classical conditioning. This when an animal learns to associate a neutral stimulus with a stimulus. So what I have understood from these two lines, from first sentence only. Sentence means starting from here and finishes at full stop. So here they are talking about this scientist name who discovered and documented the principles of animal learning in 1900. So till the time, if I got better answer for this second number, I will just mark A number over here. Okay, now if you want to read little bit more, if you want, years of learning research have led to the creation of a highly precise learning theory that can be used to understand and predict how and what conditions most any animal will learn, including human beings, eventually help people figure out. Okay, so they are still talking about how animal and including human being also how learn. So but earlier study we have got it right in the first sentence. Now B number paragraph, let's read it. Role models are a popular notion for guiding child development. Okay, but in recent years very interesting research has done on learning by example in other animals. If the subject of animal learning is taught very much in terms of classical, or this it places too much emphasis. To teach a course of mine, I have been dipping profitably into a very interesting, now profitably word is there, a description of a cost effective experiment. To teach a course of mine, I have been dipping profitably into a very interesting and accessible completion of paper on social learning on mammals, in mammals, including this and this. I don't think so. B is matching with something. Now let's read C number paragraph. Okay. So the research reported in one paper research. Okay. Paper started with a school field trip to Israel. Okay, to a pine forest where many pine cones were discovered. Okay, pine cones, pine cone is also their discovery, but stripe word is important. Striped word is also there. Where many pine cones were discovered striped to the central core. So investigation started with no weighty theoretical intent, but was directed at finding out what was eating the nutritious pine seeds. So it means the discovery of who striped the pine cone, but who is missing. How they managed to get them out of the cones. The culprit proved to be the versatile and the athletic black rat, and the technique was to bite each. Okay, here culprit is black rat. So of course we have found third number also. So C number paragraph we will match with third number. Now let's read this D number paragraph. Urban black rats were found to lack the skill and were unable to learn it even if housed with experienced cone stripers. However, okay, now what we have left, comparison between rats learning and human learning, description of cost effective experiment. Okay. However, infants of urban mothers, crossed fostered infants of urban mothers. I think they are talking about human being. Crows fostered by striper mothers acquired the skill, whereas infants of striper, no, they are still talking about rats. Infants of striper mothers, no. However, infants of urban mothers, crows fostered by striper mothers acquired the skill, whereas infants of striper mothers fostered by urban mother could not. Clearly, the skill had to be learned from the mother. Okay. Further elegant experiments. So, experiment showed that naive adults could develop the skill if they were provided with cones from which the first complete spiral scales have been removed. Rather like our new photocopier, which you can work out how to use once someone has shown you how to switch it on. In case of rats, the youngsters take cones away from the mother when she is still okay. I think here infants of urban mothers and all, they are comparing with rats learning and human learning. So new, so these things I think they are talking in this D paragraph. So I will just mark it because comparison is there. I will mark it this D number paragraph for first question. Now fourth number, cost effective experiment. For this we will read E number paragraph. A good example of adaptive learning bearing, we might conclude, but let's see the economies. Economics is related to cost effectiveness. Okay, but let's read it little bit more. This was determined by measuring oxygen uptake of a rat stripping a cone in metabolic chamber to calculate energetic cost and comparing it with the benefit of pine seeds measured by meter. The cost proved to be less than. Now it is clear they are talking about cost effective experiment. So I will just mark it here E number. So next question we will be doing in next video. Okay, we can do it in this video. Sorry. So what I have to, so let's do true false not given. So first we have done which paragraph contains the following information. Now true false not given. It's too important to understand how to solve true false not given. So how we can do it? Uh, I will keep telling you. So first we will read the question statement. We will understand its meaning. Then we will come out, we will underline one or two keywords. Those keywords will take us to the location of the question statement. Now, IELTS reading tips and tricks. Where we have left the location of question number 1, sometimes we can get the location of second type of question. So, but side by side, we need to just open eyes and everything, open our mind where we have read about these words. So let's read question number 5. The field trip to Israel. So Israel word was in C paragraph. See this Israel. So we will read it from here. The field trip to Israel was to investigate how black rats learn to stripe pine cones. So if the field trip to Israel, especially it was to investigate how black rats learn how to stripe pine cones, then it will be true. And here, but here in this they have told accidentally. uh, so it is in C paragraph. Just look at this C paragraph. A research reported in one paper started with a school field trip to Israel to a pine forest where many pine cones were discovered striped to the central core. So the investigation started. It means this was not specially for finding who striped the cone. It means this is contradiction of information. So I will mark it false. F. Okay. So I will just mark it false, or you can write full F. Full spelling you need to write actually. Whatever the way how they have given in instruction, please write the spellings like that. In capital, then you write in capital letter. Okay, sixth number question we have. The pine cones were striped from bottom to top by black rats. Okay, if these cones were striped uh, from bottom to top, then it will be true. And if the pine cones were striped from top to bottom, then it will be false, means contradiction of information. And if instead of black rats someone is doing some this striping of pine cones from bottom to top, then it will also again false. And if they are not talking whether these were striped from bottom to top or top to bottom, then it will be not given. So let's say in same paragraph they were talking about, in C paragraph I'm talking. Okay, how they managed to get them out of the cones? The culprit proved to be the versatile and athletic black rats, and the technique was to bite each cone scale off, means stripe off, as at its base, base, and in the sequence from base to tip, from base to tip is the highest point, following the spiral growth pattern of the cone. It means the pine cones were striped from bottom to top by the black rat. So this is perfect. Perfect meaning is matching here also and here. This is question statement, this is information in the paragraph. So both meaning are matching, and so we will just write here true. Okay, seventh number. So we were doing seventh number. It can be learned from other relevant experiences to use a photocopier. So photocopier they were talking in C paragraph. Photocopier was not there, but somewhere photocopier is here. See this? Photocopier is in D paragraph. It can be learned from other relevant experiences to use a photocopier. Okay, so if it can be learned means they are talking about pine cone striper. It can be learned from other relevant experiences to use a photocopier, then it will be true. And if they can't learn it from the other relevant experiences, then it will be false information. Okay, false. New photocopier is here. Further elegant experiments showed that the naive adults could develop the skill if they were provided with cones from which first complete spiral of scales had been removed, rather like our new photocopier, which you can work out how to use once someone has shown how to switch it on. So I think they are clearly explaining with the help of other irrelevant experiences to use a photocopier. So this we can mark it true. Eighth number, striping the pine cones is an instinct of the black rats. Now, if you do not know the meaning of this instinct, then you have to just guess work. Instinct from inside of the black rats. If it is inside of the black rats, means mm, uh, to learn something, then it will be true. And if they are learning it from somewhere else, then maybe let's read how we can get this answer. Because in actual exam uh, 50% students will not be knowing this meaning, this instinct. Okay, so here we were talking about striping the pine cones is an instinct of the black rats. Okay, so this paragraph we have done. After this we will get, we can get the answer in 8 next paragraph. A good example of adaptive bearing, we might conclude, but let's see the economies. Okay, is an instinct of the black rat. So black rats here, black rats they were talking here or in that paragraph. So urban black rats were found to lack the skill and were unable to learn it, even if housed with experienced cone stripers. How? Okay, okay. So here also you can just look at this. Urban black rats were found to lack the skill and were unable to learn it even if housed with experienced cone stripers. Thus, striping the pine cones is an instinct of the black rats. I think they are talking about skill. Urban black rats were found to lack the skill and were unable to learn it even if housed with experiment cone striper. Instinct. Okay, so where are they talking about? So in above paragraph, I don't think so. They are talking. We have gone through full all reading all paragraphs, so they were not talking about anything like that. Only in these lines, and I will show you C paragraph also again. Here they are the culprit proved to be in C paragraph. They are talking about urban black rat. How he had just he will just he just biting these cones, pine cones, the scales and all. And in this line only, after this they are not describing anything about black rats in this paragraph, in this passage. So urban black rats were found to lack the skill. Here it is saying it is an instinct of the black rats, means natural skill of the black rat. So here were found to lack the skill, or so here also confusion. Either we can put it not given or we can put it false. True, it is not there. So is an instinct of the black rats. Here it is saying lack of skill. It means it will. I will mark it false. Now coming to complete the summary, fill in the blanks. So here this is not a normal common kind of fill in the blanks. This is really difficult kind of fill in the blanks. Sometimes it is really difficult to find synonyms of these words. Whatever the answer we are getting in these paragraphs, sometimes it is difficult to find synonyms. So if in this case, if there is less time, then please guesswork will work. So out of 6, 7 fill in the blanks, 5 fill in the blanks will be correct if you just do guesswork with these kinds of fill in the blanks. Okay, but let's do it wherever we are getting location. So complete the summary below using words from the help box. Okay. While the nutcracker is more able to catch seeds, nutcracker. So nutcracker they have started talking in F paragraph. You can see this F nutcracker. Uh, okay, seeds also we need to find. J word catch food is also there. Okay, nutcracker is also there. In fact, is more able to catch seeds. The J realize. Okay, J word J is also here. Realize. Okay, Mexican. The Mexican J will also catch food. Catch, okay, food instead of seed they have given, but is much less dependent upon this than the nutcracker. Okay, see this, while the nutcracker is more able to catch seeds, the J relies is much less dependent. See this, but is much less dependent upon this than the nutcracker. J is not, J relies less. So we will just mark it less. Dependent means relies. Dependent means he relies. The J relies less. So first one it is given less. So in answer we will be writing less. But uh, most of the time help box words they have given in alphabets. Then instead of less, because it is first number A will come. Whatever the way they have given alphabets. If it is in capital, then please write the answer in capital letter. Here less will come. Now 10th question, in this ability on catching food and is thus less specialized in this ability but more dash. What is more? But is much less dependent upon than this the but more than upon this than the nutmaker. Okay. So comparison is there. Here he is less dependent uh, he's less dependent on catching food and is thus less specialized in this ability but more, who is more? Nutcracker, I think. Nut, then comparison is there but more nutcracker. Or what can become less social? Okay, so we can just leave it. Okay, the two species also differ in their social structure, the nut cracker being rather solitary while jay forages in social groups. Okay, in this ability, but to study their behavior of catching and finding their caches, an experiment was designed and carried out to these two birds for their ability to remember. Archaeologists discovered prehistoric island settlers. Okay, so but more. Okay, I think they are talking only about J, not with nutcracker. So here they are saying J will also catch food but is less dependent, less relies on catching food and is thus less specialized in this ability. But more, what is more? He is talking about what is more in this J. Two species also differ in their social structure. The nutcracker being rather solitary means single, while Jay forages in social groups. So social groups, he is more into social. So social we can just write here, but more social. J is more social. So from here to here I have read. Now 11th question. In the experiment, the cashier bird hides seeds in the ground while the other dash. Okay, hide word is here. Okay, whether a bird can remember, in the experiment is to discover not just whether a bird can remember where it hide a seed but also if it can remember where it saw another. Okay, while the other, while other, what is it? While whether a bird can remember where, but also if it can remember where it saw another bird hide a seed, but other, while the other, while word is here. Okay, lot of so we have to read it thoroughly. The design is slightly comical with a cashier bird wandering about a room with lots of holes in floor, hiding foods in some of the holes, while watched by an observer bird. Okay, while the other, while word, yeah, while watched by an other word they have given. It means here observer can come. Observer. While the other, no. Okay, let's read it next one. As a result, Nutcracker and Mexican Jay showed different performance in the role of at finding the seeds. The observing didn't do as well as its counterpart. So while word I have found it here. While. So before that everything they have written. While watched by an observer bird. Okay. Catcher bird hides seeds in the ground while the other maybe less more, while the other, when someone is hiding something in the holes, then of course while watched by an observer, so it means the while the other watched. So here watched will come. As a result, the nutcracker and maximum j showed different performance in the role of. Okay, in the role of while watched by an observer word 2 days later cashier and observers discover. Okay, so cash. So this Nutcracker and Mexican Jay showed different performance in the role of at finding the seeds. While watched by an observer, bird perched in a cage. 2 days later, catcher and observers are tested by their discovery. It means they are talking in the role of observer. Here it is given watched by an observer bird. And if you look at this, 2 days later, catchers and observers. So in the first paragraph they were talking about catcher and observer are testing for their discovery rate against and this. So here we can mark it observer, and at finding the seeds the observing dash didn't do as well as its counterpart. 2 days observer are tested for their discovery rate against an random performance in the role of cashier, not only nutcracker but also less specialized. J performed above chance. At finding the seed, the observing dash didn't do as well as its counterpart. So what he did, who didn't do well? So they are talking about nutcracker. Not only in the role of catcher, not only nutcracker, but also less specialized. J performed above chance, were successful. Did know better than chance. Observing nutcracker will come here. Didn't do as well as its counterpart. Nutcracker is highly adopted. The social living is so exploiting catching of others. So remember, so what we have left? Less we have used, social we have used, observer we have used, watched the absorbing catcher didn't do as well as counterparts. More will not come, solitary will not come. Remember, so nutcracker, I think it can come here. So we will just write it nutcracker.